Hey everybody, this is Buddy Lee back at it with Last Place Productions. Today we have the new acquired purchase here. I just bought this 2021 KTM 50SX from my youngest son, and the reason for me getting this is for racing. The TTR50e was it wasn't reliable for racing. You tip the bike, it doesn't run right for like the next 5 minutes, and it wasn't conducive for racing. However, this bike isn't really the best for trails, so I'm going to keep that bike for the trails, and we're going to have this one just for his racing bike. And I happened to find this on Facebook Marketplace, an absolute steal. I paid $2,000 for it. Let me show you the motor here. Had a motor that had been refreshed recently by Lamps and Racing Engines, formerly of out here where I live, and I believe they're in Georgia now. I called them to get some detail on the motor. It also has an IPR triple grip clutch, and things seems to be very well sorted. I think it's got about 13 hours on the top end since they refreshed the motor. It had some graphics on it that I haven't taken all the way off, but I took most of them off on the body. But yeah, this thing is pretty clean, and I think $2,000 for a 2021 is a fairly good price right now. People still want $3-4 grand for these, especially with the fresh motor. So we had the factory FMF pipe right here. Then we had the turbine core as well, so we can comply with all the national forest and state recreation areas. It also came with the stock expansion chamber, also came with the stock silencer, as well as a power core. But we're not going to be able to really run that wherever we ride. So the frame itself has 73.9 hours, if you can see that there. And has aftermarket cover, little Nihilo bits. Got some aftermarket handlebar clamps. Got the ASV lever. Got the T-Rex throttle. So, this thing is pretty well decked out. The forks do leak, so we'll have to rebuild those. Well, that's not a big deal. It's just a couple $100. It did come with a Works Connection hole shot device, which is cool because I probably would have bought one anyway. My older son rides for them, but that's cool. It's a freebie. I'll take it. And, yeah, man, this thing starts right up, too. It's got a thrill seeker seat, but we're going to replace that with guts. Probably going to order new plastics and obviously get his graphics with his number on it. So let's start her up. Guarantee this thing will probably fire. Idle's perfect. She's a crispy river, boys. So, I don't know. I guess we'll find out whether this is going to be more reliable for racing than the TTR was. Just, because that thing, just the way it's designed, you tip it over, it just doesn't run good after that. So, hopefully this will be a better setup, and with the IPR clutch, we shouldn't have any of the overheating issues. I think this tank is big enough for the half-hour motos and half-hour races that they have. It also has, looks like it has some aftermarket upgraded radiators, which is cool. I like that. But yeah, we'll see how this turns out. Hopefully it's better than the TTR, because the aforementioned issues, I was just tired of dealing with it. So now we'll just have the TTR for trail riding, and you might try some trail riding with this, but these aren't really conducive to tight trail riding. They kind of like to be ran a little bit more open. But yeah, if you guys have ran a TTR or raced a TTR and swapped over to one of these, I know this is a much more aggressive bike. Let me know what you guys think, and whether you think it's a right move right now. Henry 6, he's a tad short for the bike, but once he's moving, it shouldn't be a big deal. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked to see what comes from this, and especially the screaming deal I got on it. Like I said, fresh motor, pipes, probably throw some tires, plastics, and graphics, and a seat cover on it. Just for aesthetics, I'm gonna order some new FMF turbine core stickers, just so everything looks nice and neat. I gave it a deep cleaning yesterday. The rear rim is kind of beat up. Looks like somebody is just beating the hell out of it trying to get an inner tube on it. But yeah, man, I'm pretty juiced on it. Pretty stoked to kind of get him on a bike with real suspension. And you know, also I did lower the bike. So there's 2 mounts here for the spring. I put it on the upper mount, which should lower the bike, I think, a 1/2 inch or whatever. Then I took off some preload on the spring. Then I also raised the forks and the triple clamps about as high as you could. So got another 1/2 inch out of that probably. And you know, he'll grow into it, so I'm not terribly concerned. But yeah, you know, let me know what you guys think, if you've had the same experience. And then we're also going to put the 2 bikes side by side, and we'll talk about some of the differences, seat height, and all that. Now, looking at the 2 bikes side by side here, it's a little bit of slant of a hill, but should be able to get a somewhat of a good idea. Now, first thing you notice is difference in height, and I believe the TTR is about 22 and some change inches at the lowest part of the seat. And you can get the KTM down to about 24 inches. So that's the big difference. And then, I mean, obviously the suspension on the Yamaha is just almost non-existent. That the travel is so much drastically different. Also weight, I can clearly tell between the 2 of them. The Yamaha is a lot heavier. Obviously, it being a 4-stroke and having a gearbox and all that is, you know, clearly gonna cause it to be heavier. The power is not even comparable. You know, the Yamaha is good for lugging on trails. This is just a straight race bike. It's a ripper. I believe from the factory, the clutch engagement point, I think, is like 9,500 RPMs, which is kind of insane. Yeah, I just think for racing, the KTM is just going to be the better choice. And hopefully I'll be vindicated come race day. Like I said, it's a little bit taller for him. He's less comfortable. He can fully sit with flat feet on the Yamaha now, which wasn't the case when we first got it, you know, a year or 2 ago. But yeah, I'm just excited to see what happens. We go out and race, and you know how he feels about it, because that's what matters. That's the most important part. But definitely a lot easier to start. Another thing is, this is e-start only, and then the stupid button fell off, so I can't even start it right now. But Henry can actually start this thing himself, which is pretty cool. So I'm pretty stoked about that. Won't be having to run around and chase him through the course if he dumps his bike. So yeah, we'll see how all that goes. I'm super excited, and hey, let me know if you have any experience between these 2 bikes and what your experience has been. And once again, this has been Buddy Lee with Last Place Productions. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and I will see you boys in the next one.